here we are again. Welcome to
Yes, it
Bookkeepers
is.
on Fire. Yes, we're a little bit late because we were just talking too much.
We were
So
so
here we
excited
are.
to get to that.
This is
We took
where
all the material.
this is where bookkeeping becomes bold, human, transformational. I'm Donna Reed, together with Deb Kilsheimer, and we shine a light on bookkeepers, the experts, the behind-the-scenes heroes who keep business moving. This show is about you, our guest, our listener, our partner in raising the bar. So if you're ready to leave and serve with conviction, compassion, to rebrand your profession and your role, you're in the right place. And you're with our guest today, Matt. And Matt, how do you say your last name? Because I forgot to ask you.
Just Matt Tait. And thank you for having me.
Matt
I really
Tait.
appreciate it.
We're thrilled
Oh,
you're here.
great. We're so honored to have you. So can't wait for everyone to learn more about you and what you're doing at Decimal.
I don't think people realize what a superstar you are.
Oh, don't tell my wife. She'll easily
we won't-
dissuade them
we
of
won't- we won't say it.
anything that says I'm cool. My
Well,
kids
you
too.
are. I mean, really. I mean, we met you at Scaling last year.
Yeah.
You're on the panel with Sasha from Puzzle and Ben from Keeper, or now Double.
Double.
You
We
know.
don't want to get sued like they did.
Yeah. And you're talking about, you really have a progressive thinking about accounting. So let's start there. Like, how do you think differently than most traditional bookkeeping and accounting firms think?
My starting point is much different than most of them. I'm a recovering attorney, so I'm not an accountant, not a bookkeeper. I tried to do bookkeeping one time, and it cost me $7,000 to clean it up for tax time. It was that bad. I'm an entrepreneur. I've spent my life around entrepreneurs. Decimal is my fourth business, and my co-founder Jacob and I, and even our COO Michael, we started Decimal to help small businesses. And so we look at this from a business owner first perspective. And so what we've built is with that perspective on how do we accomplish what business owners need, and then how do we do great accounting and operations work around that. And I think that subtle difference is what has helped us to have a lot of fun in the industry.
Great. And so what makes you tell us about Decimal, because is it a franchise operation? Is it your firm? Tell us what
Yes, mostly. So over the last 6 years, we have been a bookkeeping and tax practice. So highly tech enabled, fixed fee. I would say using AI at the very, very tip of the spear. And that's what people have known us for. We made a couple acquisitions. The big one that everybody knew about was we bought Spark from KPMG. And we did that because it had an amazing team and a great technology that we've since sunset. But what we've been really building behind the scenes, and this is what took us to being late. And so I apologize. I'm a lawyer and a salesperson. I talk too much. But we've been building an operating system and a better way to run a firm holistically, every aspect of it. And that did lead us to, we are now franchising Decimal. Our goal is to help thousands of people start successful bookkeeping and tax firms that are run well, that help them to build the lifestyle and the business they want. Because I think even though it's easy to start a firm, I think it's hard to actually successfully grow and run a firm today.
So what do you see as the big difference in firms that don't use something like Decimal, like for starting out on their own? Where are the mistakes that they make, or the things they could do better?
It's everything. It's number one where I see professional services, not just accountants, but most people that start an accounting or bookkeeping firm really just start a job where they're doing the work, they're helping clients, they're accomplishing the tasks. If you're going to truly and scale a business, you can't do the work. The best thing about Decimal is I'm quite literally incapable of doing accounting work. So we started Decimal knowing that I'm incapable of actually doing anything that we were selling. But that allowed me to focus on building a good, scalable business. And so that's problem one. Problem two is you have 1,000 things to think about. When you hire, how do you hire? How do you hire well? How do you scale? What systems do you put in place? How do you teach people? How do you train people? How do you get good clients? How do you price things? Like, the number of variables and the number of craziness that's coming at you is unbelievable. And if you are running a Decimal firm, you have to think of two things. How do I help my clients, and how do I find new ones? And we want to be able to take over the rest and give them an operating system that works, a trained staff in the Philippines that help technology that is at the, I'd say, apex of where the industry is and can go. And then just all the little things like recruiting and help with payroll and benefits and, all the death by 1,000 paper cuts that every business owner deals with. So
If I was a brand new graduate from college,
yeah,
and I wanted to start my own accounting firm, and I found out about you, would you be a good opportunity for me, or am I too young, too new? I know.
I've got a co-founder that is 28 years old, smartest kid in any room, and he has no college degree. So I think success is based on the person and not the resume. So I think that person could be great. We have a lot of people that are talking to us that were the kind of senior manager or junior partner at a large or mid-sized firm that got bought by PE. We have people that are running, two, 300, $400,000 firms that want to transform into a decimal franchise because they're just their economics aren't working for them today and their lifestyle isn't what they thought it would be. We also, one of our initial franchisees is a small cap private equity group that wanted to turn a cost center into a profit center. And one of the first businesses they ever bought and sold was an accounting firm. And they didn't want to start or convert one. And they thought this was a better way to do it. And they're doing an amazing job right now. So there are a lot of people that can make this successful. And we just want to give them everything that can make it easier.
So you help somebody like a small account like me, if I'm a college graduate,
Yeah.
come up with a roadmap and a game plan. If you want to do this, follow our instructions.
Yeah.
To now who gets me clients? Do you do that, or do I'm out there selling, or what?
No, we want you to be out there selling. We'll teach and train you how to build relationships, how to develop business, how to be that trusted local accountant and bookkeeper, how to build a vertical expertise. I call it you want to build a T. You want to go horizontal with local. I want to be the trusted local CPA. There's a ton of amazing parts of that. And then the vertical is I want to have a very specific vertical that I am better than everybody else at. And when you have that, then you can add, as you grow, another vertical, and you build more stability into your practice. And we want to teach you that network and connect, how to build a network, connect with people, build partnerships and relationships, just do the things that I think help you build a growing, successful business in a lot of industries. And that's what we'll teach and train you. And then we'll give you everything you need when you bring those clients in to bring them in profitably, successfully, and happily.
Now, when you say okay, you did mention you're the vertical CPA. Does that mean you have to be a CPA to be a decimal partner?
Oh gosh, no.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. This is bookkeepers.
Yeah.
But the other big piece of this is, and you guys get this, running your own firm, running your own business is isolating and lonely.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
In Decimal's
Why do you think
world,
we started Bookkeepers on Fire?
I know you get to talk to your
This is
friends
it.
every once in a while. You get to be part of a community at Decimal. And so that CPA that can do taxes, guess what? You can offer that and that person will do it and you just bill your client. So it's almost like that feel of a big scaled firm where you get to use other partners or other senior managers to do the work that is their expertise, but you get to offer that because you're a part of that community. You also have the weekly meetings and office hours and community events that allow you to be part of something else to pull you off of that island and into a community of people that are all doing what you're doing, because there are too many businesses, too many locales, too many people in this world for us to really compete. We might as well just do it together.
I agree. I mean, everybody needs an accountant.
Yeah.
I never feel like I'm competing with another accounting
No, me either.
firm in the area. So
Well, I even see this. Yeah, I see this as this is a very entrepreneurial exercise. So you wouldn't necessarily even need to be an accountant or a bookkeeper. You
Correct.
just are a very much an entrepreneurial person who could have a ton of skills, especially selling would be one of them, and use other people's skills to sell your product and bring it to market. That's what I see this as, very much a business opportunity more than even just knowing the bookkeeping and accounting, which
right.
it's
So if
helpful
you're
when
a
you
great
do.
Mary Kay sales director,
Yep.
I can become a decimal partner and
Yeah.
get all of your decimal people to do it, and I'm just out there selling accounting.
You can, and you will end up hiring people in your firm, and they'll be the accountants that do the work. I mean, that's how we hire. It is, our first hire was a U.S. person. Katie was her name, and she is still with Decimal. And we told her, I said, "Hey, you're going to be our first hire. By the way, we've sold these 5 clients. We promised them that we could do work. We need you so we can actually do that work. And we promise that within a couple of months, you will stop doing the work." And I had my one-on-one with Katie this morning, and we were just catching up on life and stuff. And she goes, "You know what? I dove in this week and I was helping a couple accounting managers on things, and I had to take a step back and say, like, how easy their lives are. You made my life easier by just your thought and hope of what Decimal could be. What it is today compared to what it was, though, is unbelievable. Like, these people have it so easy. Like, one of them tried to complain to me, and I just yelled at them, like, you can't believe what it was like when I started here, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, wow, did you tell them you walked uphill in snow both ways? And
Yeah.
yeah. And she goes, I almost did. But that's like, we're trying to make this a much more approachable thing. The
Much more accounting, much more approachable, because you're giving
Yeah,
business owners what
absolutely.
they need in advisory services by
Both.
having your staff, your decimal people in the Philippines actually do the transactional work. Do I
Yeah,
have that
I
right?
mean, absolutely. Technology, some combination of technology and people in the Philippines are doing the work. And what that means is it frees up space for our US team to truly help advise these businesses on being better and moving forward. That's where accounting and bookkeeping in particular right now, I feel like, is very stuck. You only have
Right.
so many hours in the
Yes,
day, and if you're
absolutely.
spending them doing work, you don't have time to do client relationships,
Right.
time to do advice. So what we've done is we've just flipped that and made it so that the right people are doing the right roles for the right reasons.
Now, what technology with a decimal, because we talked about that, the GL product you prefer is what?
QuickBooks. So, I mean, for us, QuickBooks is, as we were talking about earlier, 24% of the US GDP goes through QuickBooks. They simply own the market, and so our clients work on them. But I would say the reason that we use QuickBooks is because it also integrates with Double, or what used to be called the artist formerly known as Keeper.
Yes.
Um, so we've found that Keeper is an amazing tool to help
Yes.
our teams work together, for us to work with our clients, to generally just continue to help improve our economics. And the integrations with QuickBooks, with Zero, and now with Puzzle have made the work much easier and much better for our teams and our clients.
So, do you use the AI native GL product you like is Puzzle? And why do you do who you? Why would you recommend Puzzle versus QuickBooks to a client?
So Puzzle for us, when we made the acquisition of KPMG Spark, it came with its own cash basis ledger that KPMG had bought and then worked on. Improved would be a strong word. But they worked on it, and so that came with a couple hundred clients. And we ultimately, you see it with Bench, you see it with Scale Factor, you see it with KPMG Spark. I don't think the idea of owning a ledger and doing the services is a good economic decision for businesses. So we shut down the former KPMG Spark or Decimal Ledger, and we looked to see what would be the best place to put it. And Puzzle fit that bill after meeting their team, looking at their technology. It was good for those smaller, simpler businesses, particularly the ones that had Stripe for revenue and kind of more integrated out inputs. Now, internally at Decimal, the ledger that we use is Rillet. We're
Really?
multiple companies.
How do you spell that?
Rillet.
I've never heard of that one.
They are a NetSuite and Intact competitor, but they're good when you have rolled up financials, and when you have multiple businesses that you want to create some consolidated financial reporting. And then it's just a more mature ledger. And so
Okay.
they're in that kind of more ERP range, and that's where my size business is today. And so we are firmly in testing and trying both.
So just so I get it right, small guys just starts a business. Puzzle works for them right now. When they get a little bigger, you move them on to QBO, and then when they get a little bigger, you move them into Relic. Is that
That would be my ideal progression. I would say hopefully puzzle continues to grow and change, and maybe
Yes.
you don't need to, make the move to QuickBooks. You can skip that step. But the reality is, with QuickBooks, and we all complain about QuickBooks,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they've earned it. But what QuickBooks has that nobody else does is an integration layer with everybody. If you
Right.
are building a technology in
Mhm.
this space, you are integrating first with QuickBooks. So, and like quite frankly, if you're a restaurant and you're on Toast, you are going to stick with Toast and not QuickBooks. If your choice is one of those two, you're going to use the company, the technology that helps you operate and run your business, not
Right.
the ledger. And so you need those integrations, and businesses expect those. And so that's where I think QuickBooks, and that's just a time and energy spent. Eventually some of these other companies like hopefully Puzzle and Rillet will catch up to that. But that integration layer is, I think, the single most valuable thing that QuickBooks has.
I agree. I mean, and so
Yep.
like and that what he's talking about, I think you're talking about like Bill.com, the ramp, the
Brex, they all
all of
integrate.
the things,
Gusto integrates
all of
in
the
the
what they call
Yeah.
integrations now in the new
Yep.
QuickBooks language
Because
that we used to call apps.
what you don't want to do is you don't want to have to work in one system and then manually enter the data back into QuickBooks or your ledger.
Yeah.
If you have to do that, pick a better system so that you don't have to do manual data entry.
Right. I know I tell like restaurants I have, like you don't need to put every hamburger sold in your GL. It's just food.
No. Absolutely. Monthly food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my Shopify people, I'm like, you manage your business on Shopify.
Right.
Right.
All your day-to-day operations are on Shopify. All that stuff's there. We're moving the numbers in for your balance sheet, your P&L, so we can do comparisons there.
And
And
payroll
that's the magic part, is explaining how it works to people. They don't get it.
Oh, I
So
agree.
a regular business owner doesn't get it. So your magic when you come in as the advisory person is telling them how it all works and explaining it in terms that they can understand, and even show
payroll's
them
very
behind the
similar.
scenes.
The
Yeah.
payroll system has
Payroll,
all the
same.
employee stuff in
Yeah.
the books are total wages.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
need to know Susie made blah blah blah.
No, you want to keep your books simple and your operating systems detailed.
Yeah.
And that I think is where here's the thing. Like, people start a business to do things. They don't start a business to do accounting.
I know.
So
Yes.
but here's the other thing. AI and all of that stuff is big in the news, and it's a huge topic of conversation. And look, we're as far out on the AI ledge as anybody. But what AI will never be able to do is trust and accountability. And
Yep.
business owners, I don't care. There are a lot of companies right now betting that business owners will want to do DIY accounting. And I think that's cute. They're
Yeah.
just not going to. I've been that business owner,
Yeah.
and I can tell you, I'll pay an accountant $1,000 a month to do the DIY for me, so I don't have to do the DIY. So I think that that's just a misunderstanding of where most Main Street business owners are, and it's the kind of tech bubble that a lot of our tech partners kind of fall into.
They think that that because you can do it yourself doesn't mean you should. I mean, I know how to run a vacuum, but I don't clean my own house.
No, having 3 kids at home, if we wouldn't survive without cleaning ladies.
I know. So you have
Yeah.
to make enough money in your job to be able to pay them.
Absolutely.
And but then you can enjoy your life. I mean, I mean, she was here today. She comes on Tuesdays. So I
Yeah.
mean, she's back. I mean, I said, get done by 2:45, Cece. So what is your so you use QuickBooks? Do you use like, all right, let me ask about pricing. So if someone comes to you as a firm owner and wants to use you, and I'm a decimal person, do you have price lists that I can follow? How do you price a basic Larry the landscape guy that has basic bookkeeping, no AP, no AR, sales
So
receipt?
what I want to start with is where I think most accountants should target, because I think there's a targeting problem in our industry. Where we train our franchisees and where we sell at Decimal is we are looking for larger, more complex businesses. We want companies where we can do their bill pay. Bill pay is the single highest margin service that I offer. It is an amazing thing to offer, and I don't understand why people don't do it. But we want people to have us do invoicing. We want people to have us do bill pay, maybe help support Gusto for payroll, definitely do their taxes. We want the complex businesses in that 2 to 20 million in revenue range because they are more mature, and also because from a targeting perspective, they're thinking, I'm going to hire somebody or I'm going to hire Decimal.
Okay.
And the pricing comparison is that $60,000 to $80,000 a year versus $3,000 to $4,000. I look very attractive at that price point. So that is where we are truly trying to know if the landscape.
We're losing him, Donna. What's going
I
on?
think we're that's not me. Hold on.
Matt, we're losing you here. And this is the greatest part.
Jeez. I don't think it's on mine. I think Matt went off. Yep. Oh man.
He'll come back. Here he
Yep.
comes. There you go.
He's coming
He's
back. All right, hang on one sec. Let me get him up. Hey Matt, and we're back.
Hey, sorry, I don't know if that was me.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was on you.
Talking about, okay, I'm going to have you back up because it was gold that you were talking about.
Yes.
2 million to you
To
started
10
with-
million.
Yeah, so that's what you're after because
We want them to be more complex businesses because what they're truly deciding is, do I hire somebody or do I hire Decimal? So am I going to pay somebody 60 to 80,000 or am I going to pay Decimal $3,000 to $4,000 a month?
right.
And that's a very easy choice. Now, if Larry the landscaper comes in and he's sub $1 million and a smaller business, what we truly target him with is, hey, we could do it for $1,000 a month. By the way, if you need other things, you have a very limited set of that goes into our essentials bucket. And so they don't even get a monthly meeting with us. They're output only. You're really here so that we can help you file your taxes at the end of the
Right.
year. And we're giving you your monthly P&L and balance sheet and financial reporting, but you don't get the monthly meeting that a $2,000-$3,000 a month client gets. So we are selling you exactly that. We set the expectations, we work with that, but we want our franchisees and our own firm to be targeting those larger businesses. I'm a big baseball fan. What we tell our teams is there's a difference between what you pitch to and what you catch. You'll catch Larry, but you're not pitching to him. And when he does come in, you also have a limited set of add-ons. And so if they do need consolidated reporting because they have multiple entities, great. You have to go up to essentials, which is a minimum of $2,000 a month. And then you get a monthly meeting, you have more. So we really target differently, but we price at minimums. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Because I think
Yep.
it drives me nuts when I see, people on I priced a cleanup job and a monthly service at $300 a month. And I just,
Okay. Now
Oh my
I want
gosh.
to get to cleanups because I just did a post that went viral last week on cleanups.
yeah.
We do not sell cleanups until you have been with us for at least a month, preferably 2.
Okay. So explain that.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes and they ask you for a cleanup, great. What do you need it for? Why do you need a cleanup? What is your reasoning? Do you need it so you can file taxes? Do you need it so you can get a loan? Do you need it so that you can understand your business? Those are 3 very different needs.
Right.
And the cleanup can hit either one of those scopes. The other thing is a cleanup is always a bad impression. You hate doing it. Your client hates having it done. It is a horrible first impression on an onboarding. So we will onboard the client from day one. We do daily reconciliations and transactions. So from day one, we hop in and we are working with them on the dailies, processing bills, doing the transactions, etc.
So it doesn't matter what happened in the past.
It doesn't. We're
here's
just
what we're-
going forward, and then we're
Forward.
helping set their chart of accounts,
Okay,
set their
got it.
standards going
Love this.
forward.
Love this.
It gives us an understanding of what they need. And then we, after a month or 2, we scope out, hey, you still need a cleanup. We now understand what's here. Here's what a cleanup would actually cost. Because then we truly know, like, you could get their QuickBooks file, you can do all this stuff. You don't know how much that cleanup is going to cost you to do. And so you're going to do one of 2 things. You're going to underbid it and lose money, or overbid it and make a ton of money at the detriment of the client. So
Well,
we
what
can get
happens with cleanups? It takes so much time. You're not
right.
that you.
So that's also the other thing is by going through that month, it allows us to document the client, document their processes, which makes it easier for us to allow our Philippines team to do the work, which is a much better price point for me to have that work done rather than a US person. Yeah. And the other thing that we're learning along the way is, by the way, if you put ramp in for expenses and bill pay, it would significantly make this problem better and cheaper on a go forward basis. Or if you put Gusto in for payroll instead of, Joe's payroll shop, you can improve here. And so it allows us to lead in terms of advising them as well as finishing the cleanup and making a good impression.
So when you so you go through, you've done a month or two, and now you got to fix the back stuff. How do you price that? You take a month and don't multiply it by the number of months?
We'll multiply it by a portion of the months. It's not the full month work, so it can be a portion of the month. Sometimes it's based on kind of a general hourly rate. Sometimes it's a fixed fee that we're trying to either hit or exceed. The reality is, I don't need to make a ton of money on that. I just don't want to lose money.
So, like, if they come in and it's mid-year and they're on XYZ payroll system, do you just keep using XYZ payroll system till the end of the year? Or do you say, look, we're moving to Gusto or whatever you use, and then we got to catch them up, make sure it's
If
good.
all they need for us to do is a journal entry, we don't care what payroll system they're in. The only payroll systems that we will work in are Rippling and Gusto.
And what do you mean by working? That you will set them up?
We'll help set it up. If they need us to maybe hit pay on payroll or enter some hours or double check the hours, or if they need us to do any work in a payroll system, the only systems we're going to work in are Gusto and Rippling.
Okay. So, and is that an add-on to your monthly
Absolutely.
fee?
Everything is an add-on.
Okay. Do you have a price list?
Yep.
I'd love to see it.
I do not have a price list I can share. Yeah, but to me, and that's the other thing, when we price out a new client, we always itemize out the proposal, because what that does is it turns the pricing and proposal into a conversation where it's, hey, your bookkeeping is $2,000 a month. Your bill pays an additional $800, payroll is $600. And so it gives you all of this. And they're like, well, I really only wanted to pay $2,500. Okay, why don't we just do bill pay and bookkeeping? And when we get in there, we'll see if we need to help with payroll or anything like that. So let me pull these out. We'll also tell people like, hey, you want something cheaper, pay a year in advance or a quarter in advance or half a year. You can get discounts by, the net present value of cash is real. And so if you want to pay us ahead of time, it can lower your price.
Cool. I'm like sold.
I'm like, woo, I'm going to rethink the way I do a cleanup since this
I really
is the
love
time
that.
of year.
I love that idea.
Yeah. I really
Good time
like
to
that.
rethink it.
Yeah.
This is the time of year you
I've
get
got
it.
them on the list right now. I've got a list of people calling me.
Because I actually don't
Oh, yeah.
like doing it because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
No,
I hate
everybody hates them.
Yeah.
Cleanups are the worst part of this job.
Well, I always think,
And
like I teach a lot of times on, at these conferences and everything. And I remember one time I taught on doing a clean. I said, find out the purpose of why they called you. It's usually you get a tax return done.
Yes.
You don't need to look at every receipt, put in every, every deposit is a sale, every outgo is an expense. Just get them going. Good enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to look at every receipt, make sure every invoice, deposit, payment matches. No.
We talk a lot about don't make perfect the enemy of the good, and accountants are really terrible at that concept.
Yes. My phrase is perfect books are expensive.
Yeah.
When I think if they were worried about it all this time, they should have fixed it 3 years ago.
A couple of years in, we looked at a client and I'm doing a review of clients, and I say, like, you haven't closed the books on this client in 6 months. And they're like, yeah, we're struggling. We're just off. And I go, how much are you off? 35 cents.
I put a client in here last week, 9 cents.
And I was like,
9 cents.
are you kidding me? I was like, I really want you to know that I kind of want to fire you right now, but let's use this as a teaching moment. 35. I was very angry, and I ended up crediting the client, and we were fine. And they're like, I never understood why my books weren't closed. And I was like, yeah, it's 35 cents. Well, we really appreciate the person's desire to be perfect. And I was like, yes, but perfect was definitely the enemy of the good right now.
I know. I got a client in here last week, 9 cents. I go, you haven't closed, she wants to do it all herself, blah, blah. She goes, I'm off by 9 cents.
Yeah.
9
Guess what? The
cents.
government does not care. Give up that 9 cents.
I've had people with pennies,
Oh.
and they're rounding errors, sales tax pennies. And I'm like, it's a rounding error. Let it go.
I know.
Let it go. And they won't. They'll just keep going after. I'm like, it's hours.
The other
of them
thing
just
too is
going
if
after
they
pennies,
want to
and
match
you'll never get it.
they want
yeah.
to match the books to the tax return, which to me is bullshit.
That's
And
Oh.
I say, well, the tax
Don't do
return
that.
a penny eliminates.
It is interesting. I do have a client that will argue with us over like $25 charges. And the fascinating thing is she runs a multi-billion-dollar family office. She pays for it. We are more than willing for what she pays. Like we priced in that. And she ran a tax for KPMG for one of their offices. And she knew it when we were pricing her. She goes, I will argue with you over $25 charges. We're like, okay, here's your price. And she goes, great. As long as you understand. So we're like, fully priced it in. Like we get it. Like the other thing that this gets to, and I think accountants really, and our industry needs to improve on this. We're good at pricing in work. We're bad at pricing in relationship. And that's one of the things that we've gotten very good at Decimal is pricing in the cost of the client service, because that is what gives you your ability to understand margin. It's also what crushes your margin if you don't.
And what do you mean exactly like pricing the service?
Pricing your service is, so number one, if you're going to offer somebody a monthly meeting, that meeting is going to be an hour a month. It's going to take you an hour to prepare. It's going to take you half an hour to 45 minutes after the meeting to get it cleaned up. So you need to price in 3 hours into that engagement. It's not a 1 hour meeting. It is a 3 hour engagement. You also need to estimate email. How often are you going to be communicating via email with that person? And if you're the one doing it, what is your cost, or your team? What is their cost? So all of it is, how do you think through all of the interaction with that client as cost, and how do you price that in appropriately?
Yep.
I get it. Yep, totally get it. I've had that where I've had same type of business, almost same transactions. One of them was 2,500 a month. The other one was 5,000 a month. The reason why the guy was 5,000 a month is because it was daily. We use Slack, so it was daily Slack all the time, 24/7. Wanted to meet, left messages, voices, huddles, all the time. Oh, jeez.
It's like going to the
You're
gym. People go,
5,000.
oh, it's only
Yeah.
30 minutes of workout. Yeah, but it takes 45 minutes each way to get there.
Oh yeah. And we do not Slack. We did that at the very beginning and we shut that down real quick. You can
So you talk with Keeper through your clients.
talk through Double.
Yeah.
Keeper.
Double.
We email, and then we'll do scheduled calls.
Okay. Do you Zoom?
We use Google Meet.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
It's free.
Well, we're at half hour. I can't believe it's flown by.
Oh, this has been great.
Well,
it's
this has
been-
been a real joy.
awesome.
It's so wonderful talking to a progressive, forward-thinking, I don't want to call you an accountant because you said you're an attorney, but
Recovering.
Recovery.
Because this,
I think we're like we're like recovering CPAs.
yeah.
I think that's
Best
what
way
we
to be.
are.
And sometimes I feel like I'm talking into a fan.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. No, I get it. Well, I really appreciate you both having me in, and it's been a long time coming. I mean, we first met this summer, and I could talk about this for hours. So I really appreciate you having me.
Us too.
Yeah, we
Right,
do all the time.
Yeah.
We've had a couple late messages with you, Matt, too. I've had a couple late messages with you.
Oh yeah,
So,
I'm always on.
This has been great. So follow Matt on how can they catch you on LinkedIn? You're on LinkedIn.
Just follow me on LinkedIn and
follow Matt. Follow Matt's posts on LinkedIn. They're awesome posts. I love them. I follow them. I look at it every day. I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. They're not about accounting all the time or stuff. They're just about life. I think they're great. There's some sarcasm in there too, which I appreciate myself. So they're just wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you both.
Say hi to your wife for us.
Thank you. My kids all just got home from school, so I'm going to go hide.
Okay. All right.
All right, well, sign us off, Donna.
All right. Well, Thank you for joining us today on Bookkeepers on Fire. We hope this conversation lifted, inspired you, and reminded you of the incredible power and value you bring as a bookkeeper. So thank you to Matt for being our guest and sharing your story. I think it was awesome. We're going to reshare parts of this on LinkedIn, and we'll put the full episode link there, and we'll put any show notes in with links to Decimal there, so you guys can check out more about Matt. And we're just thankful you guys are here, and we'll be here next week with another wonderful guest, an episode of Bookkeepers on Fire. You guys have a great week.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.